Hello, this is the Chamael Corp. My name's Chris.
And I'm Chip.
We are continuing our Build a Spaceship in the Basement series. As you can see, we have exposed studs, and I'm not talking about Chip.
Oh, I thought you were talking about yourself.
I might have been. So stick around and we'll tell you what we've been up to. So as you just saw on the screen, we do want to take a moment to thank our Patreon supporters. And if you are interested in what we're doing, we do invite you to hit the link in the description, which does take you to our Patreon page. You can check out the tiers, some of the perks you get. Those are, early access, as well as actually some physical cool things that can get mailed to you as well. So maybe something to consider. But let's jump in.
All right, we shall.
We shall. What we're doing is we are working on, to recap, turning this room in my basement into a spaceship or a starship interior. So in the previous video episodes, we've kind of talked about this being the plan for what this is going to look like. We take one space, we divide it into two smaller rooms. The room on the left becomes the command center. The room on the right kind of becomes like a galley or a lounge or something to that effect, right? So
The lounge.
The Spectre lounge.
It wouldn't be a full galley.
Right.
But it would have a bar.
It would.
Or it does have a wet bar.
Yeah. So what we are working on is that back room, that lounge or that galley area. And we do have a concept sketch of what that is going to look like. So the sink that was behind Chip is what you see to the left of that couch.
And we're sitting at what will be the table.
We are sitting at what will be the table.
And that back wall has changed a little bit once we kind of got things torn out and framed up. We kind of changed it slightly.
At the end of the video, what we're going to do is we're going to actually do like a walking tour of what we've done so far.
Yeah, so we'll have to update our schematics, but
yeah,
someday.
But it's exciting to actually see some tangible progress.
Yeah.
The plan is to continue working on the walls behind us. Also, that central wall that is in the middle of this diagram that divides the two spaces, that's going to be kind of our next step. Once we get that wall in, then we can start to work on that couch that you can see, or that seating area that you can see at the bottom. And if we come back here, you can kind of see where that is there as well. That is what we are currently up to. So I think next steps are going to be doing that walking tour right now and showing you what we've done and what's coming next.
Makes sense. Okay,
so we really have framed two things at this point. We've framed this opening here. In the sketch you just saw, in the diagram, we originally had this wall angled at a 45 before continuing it. But after looking at things and after trying to figure out where on the ceiling to attach 2x4s and things of that nature, we thought it would be easier to just keep it straight at a 90-degree angle. So we ended up doing that. We've got an opening here because we're going to end up putting my wife's treadmill in here and then doing like a barn door style setup to hide that. The treadmill can then fold down, fold back up, stays out of the way when it's not in use, which is super cool. What we're also going to do is we're also going to hit the corners with 45-degree angles here, a la, the paper in Battlestar Galactica. They did that a lot, right? So those are some things we're going to do here. We're also going to do that same effect here to kind of frame in the sink. And then do some custom shelving and some LED lighting back here, get some cool bottles to really just kind of make this area pop. Obviously also we're going to do something else with the counter because that does not scream sci-fi. And that brings us over to this piece, which is that kind of dividing wall between the sink and where the couch is going to be, or that seating area is going to be. Obviously, that dividing wall is here because we have a water pipe or a drain going out. And then there's a drain to the sink down here, which we needed to cover up as well. So the cool thing we can do here is we can actually do a lot of the wiring, right? So we've got a table here, and we're going to have people at this table potentially with laptops or other pieces of technology. So having a massive outlet down here with some electrical outlets, some USB ports, some HDMI ports to connect back to the TV screen that we're planning on putting on this wall. All of that can be controlled through a central box right here. And then lastly, we framed out an area for a small shelf. Can have some books or things like that. So if you're sitting in the seating area and you're reading a book, you've got a place to pull from, or you've got a place to put that, things like that. So all in all, we've kind of started working on this area. And if you did notice on the concept sketch, this corner will actually contain the TARDIS. You've probably seen it in previous videos, but that is something that is not in the universe of this ship, but it is also something that we built, and it's too cool not to display somewhere. So this corner was designed specifically to house that TARDIS. That's kind of where we're at. Next steps are going to be building that central wall, like we said. The next video is probably going to be around how we, or I should say Chip, is estimating how much wood, how much lumber, what are we going to need for materials to make that happen. So that's kind of the next video. Hopefully that is helpful to all of you. Thank you for watching. Thank you for taking the time. If you do like what you saw, we invite you to hit the like button. Click that subscribe button and the bell notification. That bell notification is helpful because when we post something new, then you will get notified. And we mentioned it at the beginning of the video, but if you are interested in checking out our Patreon, that link is down below. Thank you very much for your time. We will see you next video, and in the meantime, keep creating.